I never thought that I'd be able to lose weight unless I was doing some kind of extreme raw diet or massive calorie restriction and calorie counting. In essence, I thought that I had to do something very, very difficult, and that was the only way that my sluggish and slow and broken metabolism would actually lose weight. Fast forward 10 years of dieting, I learned how to lose weight in an easier, much more sustainable way, and I've been able to keep it off for the past 5 years. So something that I'm doing is working. I'm going to share with you 6 hacks that I still use to this day that have helped me to lose the weight, keep it off, feel more full and satisfied, and actually enjoy my diet. And number 6 is my favorite because it helped me to learn how to get consistent in the gym, do my first pull-up, and then actually even start this YouTube channel. So stick around for that. Before we get into the first hack, all weight loss is because of a calorie deficit. A keto diet, a high carb diet, a paleo diet, a fruitarian diet. They all work if they do because they reduce the number of calories that you're eating, which means that your body is then forced to dip into your stored fat cells. So all of these hacks are not magical, they just help to reduce your calories in some way. Hack number 1 is to make a daily veg box. The reason that this works is that vegetables are so low in calories, so when we eat more of them, we push out some of the higher calorie foods that we would normally be eating because we tend to eat a pretty consistent volume. That means that if you're an individual that would normally eat between 4 and 5 pounds a day, and now you replace some of that with a pound of veggies, then whatever the pound of other higher calorie foods that you would normally eat, you're not going to be eating them anymore, which is why you can easily lower your calories. And there's tons of studies that show that simply by adding low calorie elements, you reduce high calorie elements, meaning that you lower your overall calories. Not only that, vegetables are incredibly good for you, and I like the box method because it's much easier to just go into the fridge, grab some out as you go, add them as a side, and it's much more satisfying to be reducing a box of vegetables rather than feeling like, well, I have to eat another one. It's subtraction from something as opposed to addition. So give this a go. And here's a pro tip. If you don't know how many vegetables to eat in a day, start with about 1 pound, and you can measure it out simply by putting your box on a table scales, and then you'll get to know over time about how much a pound is. And you don't have to eat these plain, please. Use a dip, I will be. Hack number 2 is something I've talked about often, and that is to stop cooking with oil, even virgin olive oil. Because oil is so highly refined, you take something like olives, and then you take out the water and the fiber and a ton of nutrients in that process as well, and then you're left with something that is just the pure fat calories, which means that it is extremely calorie dense. Oil is about 4,000 calories per pound. Vegetables are about 100 calories per pound. Let's be really conservative and say that you're going to cook with about 2 tablespoons of oil a day, which is about 120 calories. That means by learning to cook without oil, you're saving yourself over 1,600 calories a week. And realistically, most people are having a whole lot more oil than this. Every time I talk about reducing oil, there is someone in the comments saying that we need to have fat in our diet, and it's dangerous what I'm saying. But I'm not saying don't have fats. Have the whole food version, have olives, have avocado, have nuts and seeds, but you don't have to have the refined product in order to get the benefits of what the whole food actually was in the beginning. And here's a few easy ways to cook without oil. So first of all, we're going to do some water sauteing. So just put your pan on, wait for it to heat up, and then I always have my trusty kettle right here, and I'm going to use a little bit of water if I need to. I put a lid on because it helps the veggies to steam as they're cooking. I'm going to give it a stir, and normally I'm not going to just cook boring broccoli like this, but just for the example, right? Put a little bit more if it needs it. I'm just putting the heat down a little bit. Perfect. When it comes to roasting, baking paper is your friend. I use the setting on my oven, which is called fan forced in New Zealand. I don't know if it's the same in the States, but the other option is just to use an air fryer. An air fryer can get things really crispy very, very easily. And in some ways you don't even need an oven. Any kind of setting on an oven where there's lots of air being forced into it is going to make your veggies crispier. even if they don't have oil. Hack number 3 is microwave potatoes. This is so simple that it's almost like not worth saying, but it truly has changed my life. Russet potatoes are the best for this, but we can't get them in New Zealand. But all you need to do is prick them with a fork, shove them in the microwave, and then cook them for about 5 minutes. Check on them. If they need to be turned, then turn them, and then cook for another like 1 minute, 2 minutes, until they are soft, and I like them like really, really squishy. I just wait until they're kind of crinkly like this and squishy, and they're absolutely delicious. We ate so many baked potatoes when we were in the States traveling around because they are perfect on the go. We could cook them in the microwave in a hotel, and potatoes are amazing for fat loss because they're very filling while also being really low in calories. People have this misconception that potatoes are bad for weight loss because of what they put on them. You put butter, oil, deep fry it, yeah, it's not going to be good for you. But just like this, it's very low in calories and actually super delicious. Put some salt and pepper or some ketchup or something low calorie on there, and it's an amazing option. Hack number 4 is to get an air fryer. I can't even exaggerate how much the air fryer has changed my life, because you can get foods crispy without adding oil, and you can cook food fast without having to heat up and wait for an oven, which means that you're much more likely to eat a healthy meal if you can make delicious chips that take like 15 minutes. I will like bake some potatoes in the microwave or prep up a whole batch and then put them in my air fryer with some salt and pepper, and they get delicious and crunchy. I also use this little silicone basket, which is awesome for tofu or anything that has a marinade. I like the Instant Pot brand, like that's what I have right now, and it seems to work really, really well. So cannot recommend an air fryer highly enough to change your kitchen. And I barely turn my oven on now. The 5th hack is banana Nicecream, and I put a tiny bit of hazelnut syrup stuff, chocolate sauce on top. The crazy thing is that you can make an amazing ice cream alternative with just whipping up frozen bananas, and the key to it is to not use much liquid and to let the bananas sit for about 2 to 5 minutes before you start to blend them. I don't know why I used a blender in this instance, but a food processor actually works better, and you can add any kind of protein powder to give it a different flavor, or like vanilla. Sometimes I'd put like cocoa powder or other frozen fruit to give it a different flavor. It is a quarter of the calories of a regular ice cream and super decadent and delicious. I'm gonna put a tiny bit of this kind of Nutella on top. I'm gonna give this a go. Perfect as a dessert, or if you're craving something sweet, it's gonna help you to reduce your calories without feeling more deprived. And I've eaten this my entire weight loss journey. Even just like plain bananas with some vanilla is so good. Hack number 6 is to set yourself a minimum target as opposed to having to be perfect in order to build habits. Because when it comes to building a routine, which is what all weight loss is actually about, and building new habits so that your behavior that you're trying to create is now default, is just repetition. You have to do something many, 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 many times in order for it to become that autopilot response. When it comes to building habits, most of the time we fail because we try and do too much, and then on the moments when we can't do anything, we do nothing. So instead of eating a potato and then some ice cream, we just have a full-on binge. Or instead of going to the gym for 10 minutes, we just won't go to the gym and we'll sit on Netflix and eat popcorn instead. So if you want to break this cycle, then use a 2-minute daily target, which is a minimum if you can't do anything else. And you can use the other hacks inside of this video to do that. So what I would recommend is set a minimum target of just prepping your veggie box every day. Even if you don't end up eating it, even if you're going somewhere where you've got other food planned, set a minimum target to microwave a potato every day. Even if you don't end up eating it, just microwave it. One tiny thing that you can do in 2 minutes or less that you can start building reps for is something that you can build on later. And James Clear talks about this in his book, Atomic Habits. We really need to have the first foundational step in order to build anything on top of it. And when you do this, you bypass the need for motivation. It's hugely powerful, and I've seen it massively work in my own life for building a gym habit where now I can go and do 10 pull-ups, or maybe like 8 realistically, quite comfortably, because there were many days where I would just go to the gym and then walk straight back out again, because my minimum requirement is that I just get to the gym. It's not even that I do a workout. Chances are I normally do, and now I actually enjoy going to the gym and working out 4 to 5 times a week. I hope you found this video helpful. Please let me know in the comments which of these hacks you're going to start implementing, and I will see you next week for another video. All right, that's it. Bye. I can't. It's so good.